Right, so after days of looking for a Pro Max, I finally found one, guys, and it's in the configuration I want because I got it in 128 gigs, space black, and yes, now I'm a big space black fan. And yeah, this is a very exciting unboxing for me because I've been using the 14 for a week or so now, and of course, that phone is pretty boring for the most part. This has Dynamic Island, the better cameras, the much better battery life. This is what I want, so yeah, I'm pretty hyped. I finally got this. So why don't we just delve into the box? So of course we have the pull tabs. Let's rip this off. I'm flopping at this already, but there we go. Boom. Boom. And let's now open the device and take a look. Oh, yeah, okay. I am very happy with Space Black. That is a gorgeous color. Also, again, much like my 14, there are dust particles on the phone out of the box. I don't know why, but anyways, I'm just glad I got this phone. And Space Black looks amazing. Space Black just looks really... Oh, yeah, I'm glad I went for this. Okay, so in the box we have the usual stuff. I don't think we need to delve into the contents. So let's actually just set the phone up and play around with it. So putting the box to the side, let's start this guy up. Actually, one thing, we need to actually peel the sticker on top. So let's do that right now. Ooh. That was nice. That was a good peel. Anyways, here we have it. iPhone 14 Pro Max. The weight is good, actually. I know it's a little heavier than the 13 Pro Max, but to be honest, it feels great. I love Space Black. It looks so good. I'm glad I got this. Yeah, let's power this on. Sorry for any noises in the background. There's planes and all kinds of things happening. But anyways, booting up right now. We can see the Dynamic Island. We can see the two cutouts actually quite clearly, but let's see how it looks when it boots up. Hello. Very nice. And that is my first look at the Dynamic Island, and that looks very nice. I like it quite a lot. So let's set this phone up. Actually, let me do this off camera because it's a pretty simple process, and I'll get back to you guys after a few hours of use. Right, so I did decide to spend a full week with this phone before I gave you guys my first impressions, and I'll be honest, I do have some regrets upgrading to this from the 13 Pro Max. And no, it's not because this is a minor refresh. I was expecting that because let's be honest guys, the phone market has matured and most manufacturers nowadays aren't giving us major year-over-year upgrades. Take for example the Pixel 7, that's going to be very similar to the 6. The same goes for the Galaxy Fold 4 and also the Galaxy S23 CS. Apple also doing the same is not a surprise to me. I was expecting this to be a minor refresh. So why do I have regrets upgrading? Well, that's because battery life has been a downgrade. So I did discuss this in a dedicated video that of course you can check out in the icon above. But essentially battery life has been 10% worse than the 13 Pro Max in my experience. So yeah, this ends with 20% left in the tank, whereas with the 13 Pro Max, I was consistently ending with 30%, and that's quite a major difference. And this was with very similar screen on time, so yes, battery life is a downgrade. Now some of you guys have told me to turn features off, but I don't think I should be managing the phone and turning features off to get the battery life I want, especially since with the 13 Pro Max, I turned nothing off, and it gave me insane battery life, and that's really what an iPhone should be, it should just work. And that's not the case with the 14 Pro Max. And so yes, in my opinion, if Apple's giving us features like the always on display, they should have given us a bigger battery to counteract this feature, but of course, Apple instead gave us a more power-hungry feature with a smaller battery inside, and that was not a great idea because, yes, in terms of real-life usage, the battery life is worse. And yeah, especially after having the consistent and reliable battery life with the 13 Pro Max for a year, this is a considerable downgrade, and it does kind of suck to be honest. And I'll be honest guys, if I did not sell my 13 Pro Max before launch, I would have returned this and went back to my 13 Pro Max because, like I said, this ultimately is a minor refresh. I was expecting that, but because the battery life is worse, I would have just stuck with my 13 Pro Max. But because I can't get back the phone I sold, I am kind of stuck with this device. Now yes, I know the 14 Plus is a thing, and to be honest, I am considering it, but at the same time I do kind of like some of the Pro Max features, and if I do regret getting the 14 Plus, I likely won't be able to get this phone again because it's basically sold out. So yes, I'm very lucky I managed to find one in the configuration I wanted, and because of that I think I might keep this even with the worst battery life. Because yes, putting the battery life to the sides, I am mostly happy with the experience on the 14 Pro Max. Like, let's begin with the design. The space black looks great. I'm usually not a fan of Apple's grey iPhones, but this being more of a proper black does mean it looks way better than space grey and graphite. So yeah, this colour has grown on me and I really like it. Also, the new features with the display have been great. I did initially hate the always on display, but to be honest, it's really grown on me, and having the ability to, of course, glance at my iPhone screen when it's on a desk and look at my notifications and widgets is pretty great. But like I've said in the past, the always on display does use a lot of battery life, which is surprising to be honest considering this has an LTPO panel, but anyways, because that's the case, I might not use it all the time. Now moving on to Dynamic Island, Apple made a huge fuss about this, but to be honest, it's kinda half-baked. While I do like it over the notch, I wish it was better integrated. Like, notifications come below the island instead of popping out of it, and I'm wondering why Apple did that. The same goes for Siri because that also could be integrated into the island, so fingers crossed we see more dynamic island features with iOS 17. Also, the high brightness is something I've really appreciated, especially outdoors. It makes a massive difference. The performance, as one does expect, is great. I've had no issues, and the haptics and the speakers do actually seem to be better with the 14 Pro Max, which is appreciated. Now, I don't use my cameras a lot, so I haven't done much testing, but to be honest, this is very similar to the 13 Pro Max. And I think that's about it for my initial impressions. I can't think of anything else, but of course, if you do have any questions regarding the device, let me know in the comments. And fingers crossed battery life does actually get better with iOS 16.1, because I've heard some say that's the case with the betas, and some praying that's the case with the public release. Anyways, thank you for watching guys, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours. Check out the video in the card above on details regarding the iPad 10, and on that note, see ya peeps.